What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Copon. It's December 11, 2025, and this is Lift and Learn episode 148. In this episode, I'll talk about perfecting your winter arc. So I'll talk about exactly how you can lock in and stay on track during the colder months. And then in the second topic, I'll talk about when doing less can actually mean more in terms of your gains going forward. Before we get into today's episode, I'll share what life has been like lately. Sometimes it'll be fitness related in some aspect. If you want to follow along, you can find me on Instagram at isaiah.copon or check out my website, isaiahcopon.com, where I offer personal training and coaching. The podcast also has its own page as well. That's at Lift and Learn Podcast. That's where I'll be posting short clips of the show. And now for today's episode. All right, guys. So the holiday season is approaching. We got the tree up a while ago now. Don't know if any more decorations are going up in our place, but yeah, we actually had our first Christmas party this past weekend already. It was just a close family one, so that was a good chill night. I got this little key organizer that I've been trying to get for the last two Christmases. It's just like a compact way to hold your keys as opposed to the typical keys with the ring and all that. My daughter got some new clothes as well, a pink little Nike outfit. Oh, you already know she's going to be wearing that all winter and probably spring. I had a drink or two, not the end of the world. That Mike's Harder Lemonade is going to be a staple for the rest of the year now. We had to do some shopping the past week to make sure we were fully prepped for that. And then my wife did some baking as well. Oh my God, I love this cheesecake she makes. The absolute best. Been eating good this month, obviously. Seems like every weekend there's some outing to go to. I'm not complaining. And it actually snowed last night, so the weather's getting colder consistently. I mean, I don't like that at all, but only 2 weeks to Christmas. Wow, it doesn't feel like it at all. Maybe that's because I'm getting old now. I don't know. But yeah, my daughter did end up getting her second round of Christmas photos with Santa, the yearly tradition now. Got a pretty funny picture of her trying to ditch Santa when we tried to get her to sit alone with Santa, obviously. Yeah, that didn't work out. But at least we got a nice picture out of it. There you go. All right, quick update on the podcast. I have this episode, and then the last one of the year will be next week as well. And then the plan is to just start the year off strong. Going to take a few weeks off because of the holiday season and stuff. Going to do a bunch of planning when it comes to content for the next year. So podcast stuff, Instagram, continuing to work on the book that I've been working on for like nearly 2 years now. I just got past 20,000 words on that. So it's coming along. Maybe YouTube eventually, but that seems like a lot of work, so I don't know. We'll see where life takes me. But I'm going to enjoy the next few weeks, prepping and mentally resetting for the new year. Still working, but not giving myself timelines, but my plan is to give myself a good head start for next year. And training this past week, that's been a little difficult lately. I spent the majority of the last 2 weeks recovering from, I don't know if it's like some kind of flu or like food poisoning. No idea. But overall, my appetite and energy were just done for. I'm just now starting to feel like myself again, maybe the last few days. That was a bit of a setback, but it's all good. That's the ebbs and flows of, life and training. Besides that, though, been back on it, easing my way into things, but tracking my food and workouts again. I did a high rocks workout a few days ago, so more circuit stuff. A bit of a simulation, actually, just with shorter runs, and that went decently well, considering I'm dealing with a little bit of like a left foot pain. It's actually in my Achilles area, so after that, I eased off the running, and that lasted a few days before it went away, but it wasn't anything serious, so we're good there. And I don't know. Yeah, I was just a little worried because it was around the Achilles area. I wanted to make sure that was properly healed before I did another run because I was actually limping for a few days because of the pain, but I think it was 2 or 3 days it was gone, so it's fine. Regardless, I was able to get back into the gym after my week off. Continued the same strength progression, no real setbacks there, especially when the food got more consistent, even though for the most part it's been inconsistent lately, been way under calories last week since I was sick, like I mentioned. Plus, there were like some birthdays we had to celebrate, so that was a challenge. Some Christmas parties come and gone. And then finally went back to Dimitri's after some time off. Crepes with ice cream and Nutella still tastes amazing. I'm never going to be old enough to have that. Had Shake Shack, like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. Always amazing. Double Shack burger, strawberry shake. I don't know. Sometimes it's a miracle that I'm even remotely in shape. Honorable mention to that new truffle sauce they have as well. So good. Oh my God. I don't even eat fries typically, but dipping it in that sauce, oh my God, so good. I think I might have talked about it before, but I got some gloves that I was supposed to use when I'm running outside so my hands won't freeze, but I don't even think I got to use them yet. And maybe once, but I'm just forgetting. Like I've been on a few runs, but I didn't need them yet. My runs have been pretty chill in terms of distance. It hasn't been that cold, I would say. Like if it's like negative double digits, then definitely gonna have the gloves there. I've been enjoying more shorter bout sprinting intervals lately, mainly because I haven't had time to go on a longer run these days. So sometimes I'll only have half an hour to run, for example. So I'll do sets of like 200 meters, maybe 400 meters, maybe 800 meters. Still challenging, but in a different way. Gonna get tougher to run outside now, obviously. Last night we had like some snow, so let's hope that melts because running on the treadmill just is not the same. Topic number one: perfecting your winter arc. Okay, so I've been seeing this term get thrown around on social media, and because I work with people who are like more than 10 years younger than me, I do hear it in real life as well, the winter arc. From what I've gathered, with my research, this is basically just locking in during the winter to level up whatever it is. So that could be your physique, maybe habits, maybe mindset, and then by the time spring or summer comes around, you're a new and improved version of yourself. So, if you're looking to maximize this winter, you need to do it smart. And the first thing you should be doing is picking a goal, a main goal. You need to focus on one thing and build your program and/or your life around that. There's minimal distractions in the winter, typically, especially when like the new year comes around. Yeah, right now is probably pretty busy, but when the new year comes around, there's not really a bunch of distractions. So, training should be pretty consistent. Work on getting to that main goal. Do your mobility work, do some cardio so that your heart health is better by the time spring comes around, whatever it may be. And write some of your goals down, what you want to accomplish, and take some action this time around. Maybe your goals are the same as last year, but if you're reflecting on that and thinking about what you can improve on, that's something to think about. This is the time where you can make that change. Do something different that might not have worked last year. This is that reset you might have been waiting for. Winter's the perfect time to grow. I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally, there's no excuses this time around. It's like the off season. This is where you should be building strength, working on getting your habits down pat. This is the season where you lock in. Think about habits that'll get you to your results. That might mean just some fine tuning depending on where you're at in this journey of yours. What I've been doing the last few weeks is just making sure that my nutrition is on point. So I made sure that I tracked my food for a little bit to know how much I'm eating. And this is going to set myself up for later, depending on if I want to go through a bulk or a cut by the time January comes. I'm still debating there. I'm also pushing some of my clients to do the same as well. This is the time to figure out your nutrition and what you're going to need to do to get to your goals. It doesn't have to be perfect right away, but focus on finding meals with enough protein in them. Focus on whole foods, of course, and don't forget your fruits and vegetables or your greens. If you don't cook like 90% of your own meals, then just start to do that and learn now. If you don't know how to cook, start doing some YouTube research because I'm telling you right now, it's not that difficult and will save you money in the long run. Some cheat meals or days are going to happen, and that's okay. The point is to control what you can actually control, especially during the weekdays with meal prep lunches and those dinners. Hydration is also important, even in the winter months. Even if it's cold and you're not sweating like you do in the summer, it's still important to hydrate properly because it's great for your body. It impacts everything. So, performance, sleep, recovery, skin health, all that good stuff. So, again, still beneficial for you getting through this winter arc as optimal as possible. Okay, so finding time for exercise or resistance training, of course, that's necessary for this winter arc. Get into a consistent schedule 3 times a week. That's going to be best for most people. Full body routines would be smart in this situation because you'll be able to hit your whole body multiple times per week. It won't be smart in this case to do a bro split because if you skip the leg day, you know you're not going to be hitting it until the next week. So this is why full body splits are the best. You hit everything. That way, if you miss a session later this week, it doesn't matter. It doesn't set you back as far because you already did back earlier that week or already did legs, as opposed to doing a shoulders and arms day, and then you miss the next session, which is a day where you're doing bigger muscles, more compound movements. If you're working out 2 or 3 times per week, full body routines are a must. Mindset is key here. You need to start now so that you're ready for next year, if that's your plan. The discipline starts now so that by the time January comes and you're not just then trying to fit it into your schedule. You already have that time blocked off and you're crushing it by then. Every time you show up and it's cold outside, you're building that mental toughness as well. And by the time spring and summer comes, this is easy for you. Stacking those 1% wins on top of one another. Compounding. There you go. This is the time where you're building quietly. It's the holiday season. You're getting better every day still. It's about showing up every single day when it was the hardest, building strength, endurance, better habits, sharper mindset. By the time spring and summer comes around, you'll just thank yourself now for showing up. Start now, and by the time January comes or by the time spring comes, you're already in motion and not just having to figure out and start from scratch then. That's a big deal when it comes to seeing your body change. Topic number 2, when less is more in terms of your gains. All right, so this one's important. If you're new or short on time, this is such an important tip. As opposed to you skipping the workout entirely, when it comes to fitness, we're constantly bombarded with this idea that more is always better. More sets, more reps, more exercises, add more weight, more intensity. The thing is, though, sometimes this mindset and thought process actually holds you back from progressing forward. This mindset, though, it's normal. This is what we've been told. Hard work equals success. In fitness, that's actually not always true. If you're always doing high volume every single day, you will see yourself in a plateau eventually because your body's just not recovered enough by the next training day. Some people do get caught up in doing too much, though, me included. And sometimes that's because when you finish a workout, you think to yourself, oh man, I actually could have done more weight on this exercise, or I could have did more sets there, or did more reps here since I don't feel tired after my workout. But actually, you should be finding an appropriate dose of exercise for what your body needs, as opposed to just going until you can't anymore. This is a constant struggle. I mean, for anybody, even for me, so I know what it's like. And there's signs that you're doing too much. So let's go over that quick. You're fatigued or sore, what seems like all the time. No progress, no strength gains. Your joints are starting to hurt or they ache. You're not motivated. You just do it because, I don't know, this is the way. If your joints are acting up, your motivation is off. If you're not sleeping well or your appetite is off, then listen to your body. Stalled progress, I mean, these are all the signs. There's a sweet spot when it comes to your workouts, and you need to find that for yourself because we're all different. And your favorite influencer's routine on YouTube or Instagram may be completely inappropriate for you. Oftentimes, with the workouts, it's like the glass is already full, and then you just add more volume on top of that, and now it's like you're still pouring water into that glass and it's spilling over. All right, so Jeff Nippard, he's one of those fitness or science guys, been following him for maybe over 10 years now. He had a video come out a few months ago talking about exactly this. He trained with less volume than he has his entire career and managed to actually put on a bit of muscle mass, showing you that it is possible. Basically, in his case, he was swapping out some of his training volume for slightly more intensity. And this is great advice for those who have some years of training under their belt. And even if you're new, this could still be beneficial even without adding the intensity. So this just meant less volume throughout the week, but the workouts were a bit more intense. So the logic behind that is that because you're only doing 2 sets instead of 3 sets, you should be able to push your sets a bit harder, knowing that you only have to push through 2 sets as opposed to 3 sets. Does that make sense? I've been experimenting with that a bit actually for the past year, especially when I'm short on time, and I've seen great results even before Jeff Nibbert talked about it, so chill. I've seen this to be beneficial with my own clients, like if they showed up late and we're only able to work out for 30 minutes instead of typical hour, I'll use this strategy a lot. That way we can make the most out of our time, and that could be the difference between hitting like 3 or 4 exercises in a 30-minute span or doing 5 or 6 instead. And that's the same if you think about what you could do in 1 hour. It's funny because I started doing this on the typical body parts, but you know what? Even on the worst days and the days I don't want to do it, I'll just crush like 2 sets of my favorite ab exercises. So usually cable crunch. I love the kneeling cable crunch. And then I just push the intensity on there. And then now there's really no excuses to hit calves as well because it's just 2 sets. It takes like 3 to 5 minutes to complete. So there's no excuses to hit that body part that you don't want to anymore. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Get on the hip thrust. Less can actually be more when it comes to training, especially when it comes to sustainable gains. No matter your level of expertise or experience, your body doesn't grow in the gym, it grows after the gym. So sometimes if you're stressing the body too much, your body is not able to recover fast enough. You're never able or you're never actually giving your body the time or the space to grow from that stimulus. You're always breaking your body down if you're doing too much. The right dose of exercise is the sweet spot that you need to find, because the reality is everyone's different. And I think I said that already. There's no such thing as perfect workout volume or the perfect program for everybody. It just doesn't exist because we're all unique. Less can be more when it comes to training, because 2 perfectly controlled sets are going to build your body more than 5 sloppy looking sets. No debating that. Junk volume is something you want to avoid, which is where you're just doing a bunch of sets for no reason. Don't get me wrong. There are times where you want to push, but you want to make sure that those signs I talked about earlier are not happening. You could just need a deload week, but that's something you need to determine for yourself. Bottom line here, though, progress doesn't always come from doing more. It comes from doing the right amount consistently and being able to recover from that. Training hard is great, but training smart is what's actually going to help you keep doing this forever, which should always be the goal. If you're always redlining, you're always burning yourself out, and you don't want to get there, trust me, speaking from experience. And I think that's why the last calendar year of my training has been so eye-opening, because I should have changed my training style years ago, but I was still in that mindset of more, and I ignored all the signs too. So there are times where I do this sort of approach. I'll do maybe just 2 sets for a body part, but I'll try to push it a bit harder than I normally do. I'm able to hit more body parts this way. I save time, and after some time off, that's all the body needs sometimes. So I think you guys should try this for yourself. If you're used to doing 3 sets of exercises, try like a week of training where you're only doing 2 sets per exercise. And then with the extra time, hit maybe a body part that you know that you say you're going to do later. Abs, calves, forearms, I don't know, something like that. Glutes maybe. And just do 2 sets. You'll be able to do them like maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And then you'll see the progress, because skipping it over and over again, and then it's like, oh, I haven't hit calves in actually 3 weeks now. And you see why this could definitely help. Okay, so try it out for yourself. Let me know how that goes. And that concludes episode 148 of the podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Lift and Learn podcast. If you enjoyed the episode or the podcast as a whole, it would mean a lot if you left a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening to this. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes are currently being released on Thursdays. You can find me, your host, on Instagram at isaiah.copon, or visit my website at isaiah.com. If you want to follow the podcast itself, head over to Instagram and look up at Lift and Learn Podcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.